Good afternoon, everybody. It is Wednesday, February 15th, 2 p.m. Eastern. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the crypto charts themselves, the weekly consolidation we're currently seeing. We're going to reconcile the difference between knowing that SPY and QQQ are due for weekly consolidation, but we've got a bunch of bullish crypto charts. Also going to talk about the inverse relationship with the dollar and how correlations need to be like a leaf in the wind with our perspective and observation of them. So let's get right into it. Starting it off with checking in on the broader market. QQQ, NASDAQ is up over the high of yesterday. We're at the highest level we've seen in the last 4 days. We're at bounce highs essentially. So the bulls are keeping their control. And we've got SPY currently an inside bar on the daily time frame. SPY is a nice hourly equilibrium with yesterday's wide range. So yesterday we had the drop, the bounce, held the higher low, and if we fail 413.69, if we start dropping here while I'm talking, then we'll be having an hourly equilibrium and a tightening range to be keeping an eye on into tomorrow. But the burden is on bears to prove to us that we are rejecting from 413.69 resistance. So NASDAQ stronger than the S&P 500, but overall, bulls in control. We can see on the right here, crypto is up nicely today, whole bunch of green out there. We look at our crypto stocks. MARA, big move off the lows the last couple of days. Complete turnaround from weakness into strength. And just from the low of yesterday to where we stand right now, we're up 34% in 2 days. Riot is not quite as strong, but it's still up there, up 23%. And these names are trying to shape up their weekly higher lows, just like Bitcoin and crypto are trying to shape up the weekly higher lows. So full steam ahead for the market bulls at this point in time. Bears just aren't proving anything to us. I'm watching for it on a daily basis. I personally am struggling to be confident long the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ right now. And the reason is we're in a weekly stair-step pattern, as we know, and we've been forming a higher low every single candle 8 weeks in a row. If you go back and look at the history, years and years, how many weekly stair steps do we see before we top out? The extremes are 8, 9, 10 candles. And you're going to be hard pressed to find anything more than 10 candles out there. The V-shaped bounce back here in 2018, the end of 2018, that's 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 candles before the weekly consolidation started. And granted, it was minimal consolidation, but it was still only 9 candles. And then you can go back here and you look at 3, 6, 9, there was 10 into a huge drop. So the bottom line is, being uncomfortable looking long on a swing trading perspective when the S&P 500 has done this 8 weeks in a row is logical. It makes sense. And so for me, I'm finding comfort trading the more volatile, smaller names and not having a bigger picture and just waiting for things to sort themselves out. Because as you can see, SPY was an inside bar last week. It's currently an inside bar this week. So that tells us we've got a clear tightening range forming. And the question is this distribution into the start of weekly consolidation, or are we going to continue the bear frustration market with a sideways tightening range breaking bullish for another push up? So that's where there's a lot of, I'm seeing traders on social media having some issues, determining, well, all these crypto weekly charts look bullish, but the S&P 500 is due for weekly consolidation. So I would suggest, and Big Cheds talks about this as well, but sticking with the chart that we're trading as what's most important. If you're trading Bitcoin, if you're trading, APT, whatever you're trading, that's the most important chart, and everything else that we're watching for clues is secondary and less important. So as long as we're using levels that, we've got our stop losses in place and we've got our levels to establish a solid risk and reward trade game plan, that's all that matters. And so again, this is on a daily basis, I'm struggling with this, bulls are still in complete control, but I'm not very comfortable being aggressive in any way as a bull up at these levels. And so if you're in the same boat, just know you're not alone, because that's where I stand. Just one more crypto stock, SI, is also doing a little bit of a short squeeze today. Yesterday into today, very significant volume, trying to put in a longer term bottom here. Getting over 24.71 would be very notable, But again, another name that's great for volatility and short-term trading opportunity, up 25% today. So I've been trading these crypto names a whole bunch on the stock side of things. I haven't been trading crypto itself much recently because of the opportunity these miners are providing. But I can recognize that these crypto charts are bullish. Bitcoin up to the highest levels that we've seen in a week. We had a 4-hour bull flag from the CPI reaction yesterday. And that 4-hour bull flag confirmed very convincingly. This is not, your bull break into consolidation. That's a bull break with volume and follow through. And so you look at the weekly chart and Bitcoin is extremely healthy. Remember what I was saying? On weekly consolidation, we want the retracement to be healthy. The bulls want to hold the back test of EMA support. We got solid bull volume. We got really low bear volume. And we need to confirm the weekly bull flag to keep the bulls in complete control of this move. And so that is shaping up. There are no red flags on the weekly consolidation right now for Bitcoin and related names. And again, stocks are just keeping bull control. We've definitely got some strength still there. That can change. A lot of other traders now are looking at the dollar and saying the dollar has been inverse to crypto and stocks very notably for a while. What's changing? The dollar just confirmed the first daily uptrend. And I've been highlighting that this dollar is key to be watching because it's one of the major 5 clues that I'm watching to see if the bears are going to prove anything to me. And the dollar breaking bull on the daily was one of those clues that would be a tally in the bear column. But there's something that we have to remember with correlations. And I'm posting a link right now with an in-depth video about understanding correlations in the chat here. Watch this video because the takeaway is correlations are always changing. And if you zoom out over the last 5 years, the dollar inverse relationship to stocks and crypto is not a significant pattern. It has been a short-term significant pattern over the last bunch of months. So we have to remember to not let recency bias skew our perspective of things. Correlations are nice to recognize and nice to pay attention to, but we have to be holding on to them very loosely because we know they will change. And so one thing that would really surprise the markets right now, in my opinion, would be if the dollar bulls keep this bounce going, but stocks and crypto stay strong. That would be a big curveball to the market. And it's entirely possible that that happens. So we just have to ensure that we're always open to the possibility of a correlation that we've been paying attention to just straight up shifting and changing. And in the video that I just posted, I've got some nice examples of oil and the S&P 500 tick for tick correlated and then just instantly going in opposite directions. And so we have to prepare for that to be a possibility. Yes, the dollar is worth watching as an aspect, but as far as importance, it's one of 5 different things that I'm watching. It's not the most important thing unless I were trading the dollar, which I am not. NASDAQ bulls with a big push up right now to fresh highs. Again, this is just bear. This is a bear frustration market with what we have right now. CPI is a bearish number yesterday. Why are we still going up? You see it on social media. This doesn't make sense. It's anytime people start throwing out the word manipulated and manipulation and rigged and things like that, they're frustrated because price isn't doing what they think it should be doing. And again, that's another thing that we have to stay very loosely attached to, our perceptions of what price should be doing. Can price go up? Can the stock market go up if there's World War III? Absolutely. Is that likely? No, not at all. It's very unlikely, but it's absolutely possible. Anything is possible with these flashing numbers. We have to keep that in mind. And right now, we're in a very frustrating market for the bears. So, SPY heading up towards its resistance of 413.69. We'll keep an eye on that. So yes, the dollar has made a bull break. Yes, the dollar has a weekly bounce going. Yes, I am watching for the dollar to see a monthly bounce eventually, and it's trying to shape up right now. And then I'm going to look for a monthly lower high. But that does not mean that markets have to pull back. It means to watch for it, but that in itself is not enough. So just keep that in mind. That's one of the main takeaways of this video, is correlations are temporary. And that doesn't mean that the correlation is breaking. But again, if you show me this candle and you say, this is the dollar, what's the market doing today? I would guess, again, going by the last few months, I would guess crypto's red, stocks are red. And that's not the case. They're all green today. So again, I have to get rid of that bias. I have to get rid of that assumption. So Bitcoin, all bulls. We're going to look for a 4-hour high or low next consolidation. Complete control for the bulls in the short term. We've got an hourly stair-step pattern over the last bunch of hours. That can be a short-term guide. Bulls keep complete control as long as the hourly stair-step pattern remains intact. And now Bitcoin's looking up at resistance 23.5 thousand, and then the high of 24.3. And again, there are no red flags on this chart. And the next time that we top out, there is now space where we can consolidate and try and form a higher low. Bitcoin can pull back 5% from here and look for a daily higher low to try and form, because we know we need to regain an uptrend. We're coming from a daily downtrend, which led to weekly consolidation. And so we have to regain the uptrend on the daily if we're going to see follow through over this weekly resistance. But a big green day for the bulls. Ethereum, same deal, big green bounce, weekly consolidation, very healthy. Back test of EMA support holding. Daily bounce is big enough for bulls to try. We're still a ways away from resistance, but big enough for bulls to try and confirm a daily uptrend whenever we top out. So another, what if I want an entry from here? If I want an entry in names, in crypto names for weekly consolidation, this is now a big enough bounce where I can say this is either the weekly high or low, and this goes for Bitcoin and a ton of individual names. This is either the weekly high or low, or I'm wrong. And so the next time we see daily consolidation, whether it happens right now, which is no indication of that, or whether it happens after another move up, then on that daily consolidation, I can look for entries, scale in a couple positions, and then put my stop under that low. And if it's a weekly bull flag, I've got a position that will benefit. And if it's not and we break support, I will stop out with a calculated loss. That's the next entry, in my opinion, for a bull from here. You could also be watching for 12-hour consolidation and looking for a 12-hour high or low. And I'm also going to be curious to see how backburners respond from here. How do we respond to first 5-minute oversold conditions, knowing how much space we have for an hourly high or low? So certainly not chasing up at these levels, but bulls are scouting for entries on high or low consolidation, because the last 2 days has shown us that unless the stock market shifts dramatically into weakness, then we're going to be looking for bulls to buy dips from here, looking for the weekly high or low to be set. And essentially with SPY and QQQ, we can just say the same thing. If SPY holds this low of last week, the bulls are just fine. If that level breaks, things change. Weekly consolidation is underway. We need to take a step back and reassess. But if that level holds, then we're going to be looking for higher lows on consolidation. ETH BTC, still trying to hold these lows down here. And Ethereum has been weaker than Bitcoin far more often than not over the last month. There was a nice bounce mixed in there, but we gave back the majority of that bounce. And if this 6, 7, 8 level breaks, then that's going to show us that Bitcoin continues to be the better place for a bull to be compared to Ethereum. When we last talked during the last live stream, just need to make sure I don't have any open positions. Good. When we last talked during the last live stream, there were a handful of names that were standing out stronger. And the reason they were standing out stronger is because when Bitcoin and a bunch of other names broke 12-hour support here, these names did not. And so, trying to, nope. I have it saved here somewhere. So, let's check in on these names. The names that were trying for 12-hour higher lows. SHIB was one of them. So 12-hour higher low set. And now we're testing resistance. So it's still a tightening range. We have not broken resistance yet. Doge was another one. Doge broke 12-hour resistance. So we held support. Now we're in a 12-hour uptrend. So we can zoom out to the daily. or the weekly, as we're trying for a weekly higher low here as well. Sol was another one. So Sol 12-hour higher low held support. Now we're breaking resistance. Who else? ICP. 12-hour higher low, bull break to higher high. So really nice follow through of 10% plus on these names that had relative strength because they held support. There were also a couple names where we were watching some falling wedges for bear exhaustion. QNT, we were talking about the falling wedge on the 12-hour time frame, and during the live stream was the first time that I recognized it. Obviously, we've got very nice follow through with nice bull volume on this falling wedge breaking bullish. And the other was, and again, a falling wedge pattern is bear exhaustion. APT was the other one. So APT broke 12-hour resistance. It will still have to follow through with a 12-hour uptrend, but nice follow through from 2 days ago on all the names that were showing us a little bit of relative strength. And again, there's a lot of names, like APT has a lot of work still to do if we're going to set this weekly high or low, but it's starting the initial stages of establishing this new support level. So again, we can say for all crypto at this point, the current low of consolidation needs to hold for this weekly consolidation to be extremely healthy and to be looking for it to be a bull flag. And if the current lows of consolidation break, again, we need to step back and reassess things because that would be a notable shift away from the bulls. But again, you show me these charts on their own, and this is going back to what I was talking about at the beginning. You show me all these crypto charts on the weekly charts on their own, and bullish. There's no red flags. You show me them and you show me SPY, and I'm a little bit less comfortable being bullish. But that's something that, just may have to get over. Use your stop losses, obviously, because the next time SPY sees weekly consolidation, it won't surprise us in the slightest, but there's still no sign of it at this point. All right, let's read some comments. Any upcoming known events that might trigger market weekly consolidation? Not that I'm aware of. When's the next FOMC? That can't be too close. Monday's a market holiday. Not that that matters, but just a heads up, markets will be closed. Certainly not crypto. Next FOMC meeting is March 21st, so not in play. Ways to go. It would have to be, I don't know what could happen in the short term that would lead to a fierce spike to lead to weekly consolidation. The bears really wanted help from CPI, which they didn't get. So I'm just sticking with the charts and the price levels. Today, a big clue for me was Apple, because the NASDAQ was weak this morning. The NASDAQ broke the low of the day. So it broke the low of the day, and then it confirmed a 5-minute downtrend. And so I'm watching that live streaming, and I'm saying, all right, that's step number 1 for bears. Good start. We've got to see Apple, Apple is lead NASDAQ general. If the NASDAQ is an army and the bulls are an army, Apple is on its horse at the front, George Washington style. And Apple held the low of the day and has continued to lead the market higher. And again, you show me this Apple chart, it's an extremely strong daily chart. And if we break 157.14, that will continue to be the case. But we're riding daily EMA 12. We know in our strongest bull trends, we ride that EMA 12, whatever time frame it's on, and Apple is doing that on the daily chart. Tesla's doing that on the daily chart. NVDA is doing that on the daily chart. So the strongest names in the market are bouncing right off EMA 12 and seeing continuation. And so crypto is trying to be strong on the weekly and bounce right off weekly EMAs into continuation. I have to see all major sectors, QQQ, XLF, XLV, dropping to the lows at the same time if there's going to be any sign of bear strength. And we just have not been seeing that often at all in the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Dusk. So again, I like the clarity on the 12-hour time frame, but dusk daily inside bar bull break. Our higher low is now 202. Break over 282 resistance. And again, extremely strong still. Not a ton of volume, so you got to keep that in mind. Average daily volume here is, I can't do that math in my head real quick, but 20 million maybe? $20 million a day? That's enough to trade, but it's not anywhere near what some of our liquid coins see, so just keep that in mind. But next resistance level looking up towards 339 and 37s. There's a little bit of a resistance zone, but this is as good as you can get without being blue sky breakout, just in the sense that there's not a ton of nearby resistance. And we're heading higher as I speak. That's a big old volume breakout there. It's a quick 10% in 30 minutes. Less than that. What's that? 22 minutes? So that's on back burner watch. Did we mark the daily high or low in hourly oversold conditions? Perfection. Hourly oversold, build a base of support, off we go. It's a really good sloping line right there. Let's try and replicate that. Off we go. Ooh, I got it today. Whew. Oh yeah, I gotta start incorporating some of these lines more. It's the sweeping motion that makes it smooth. When you try and do details, when it gets ugly. Which time frame should you consider to scout for the 12-hour high or low? Good question. I sometimes use the hourly. And if it weren't the hourly, it would be the 30-minute. It could also be the 15-minute if it's really strong. Let's go to Bitcoin just to see if we have any clues from past examples. So when we hit 12-hour, we hit a low back here. I'm just curious to see how it looked on the different time frames. Got to go back a ways. So yeah, it was more than the 15-minute. And even more than the 30-minute. It might have been hourly oversold. Yeah, it was. Hourly oversold marked a 12-hour level there. So it can be hourly. Bitcoin bulls turning it up a bit. Again, just stick with the hourly stair step for now if you care about Bitcoin in the short term. That is the guide. Appreciate the likes. Let's get that up to 100. Appreciate the like commenters as well. Ocean. So more AI. Ocean's got a wall of resistance it's battling right now, but it's right there. 486. Oh, look at all those tops. That's a very key level. As long as we keep the hourly uptrend going, there are no red flags. So even if we reject right now, just hold 466 to keep that resistance in play. And of course, if we break that resistance, bulls want to see follow through behind it. Weekly high or low trying to shape up very quickly. 4-hour trying to confirm the uptrend here. A lot of space for a 12-hour high or low next consolidation. So if I were looking for an entry from here, maybe there's a play for a quick flip on that bull break if we get some stops triggering. But otherwise, I would be waiting for 12-hour high or low if I'm going to be comfortable with a risk-reward entry at this point. ASTR. Big bull move, 987 resistance. Hourly uptrend short-term guide. When we lose the hourly uptrend, we'll zoom out and we'll scout a 4-hour high or low. We got a 4-hour stair-step pattern with a high or low every candle for 7 candles. So plenty of space for a high or low once we top out. If we break 987 resistance from here, we've got Not a ton nearby. 11.2, 12, 12.8. So bulls keeping their full control. Daily uptrend. Another name without a ton of volume, but certainly enough to trade. Again, there's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands when you're unsure. Sitting on your hands and missing money is better than losing capital because you're ensuring that you're hanging around for the next opportunity. And so again, I am trading less this week from a day trading perspective than I have the last 6 weeks. And it's been a solid start to the year for me. I ended the year just, not doing well, just up a little, down a little, just choppy. And then I started this year, started trading real well, got the volatile tickers that fit my trading style, and it's been a good 6 weeks. But the last couple of days, again, I just have this wait and see mindset with the broader market right now. Just not fully trusting either direction, but trusting the bulls more than the bears because they have less to prove to me. But again, there's nothing, I'll show you the post that I just made, which is in line with that. Posted in our Slack chat room here. And again, this is related to stocks, but there are certainly some nice individual volatile charts out there with clear trends. And I'm referring to, AI and Riot and MARA and Tesla and NVDA. But for the market as a whole, I am very much in a more patient wait and see mindset, and there's nothing wrong with that. We choose when we trade, and I'm going to ensure that when I am back to actively trading, that it is with high conviction. And so I don't have high conviction right now over the last couple of days. So I pump the brakes a little bit. And a bull with high conviction has made more than me the last couple of days, absolutely. But again, that's the way that it goes. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Trading is all about pumping the gas, pumping the brakes, pumping the gas, pumping the brakes. I lost my window. PPI is tomorrow, I believe. That's something to keep an eye on. I would be surprised if it were a massive catalyst, but anything's possible. Again, I'm just sticking with the price levels in the charts and the sectors, and they're just all saying bull still. I've got my bear glasses on. Just show me. I'm ready to see it. I'm not blinded by a direction. I'm not blinded by a bias. I am very open to the bears showing me something. They just are not. Just call it like it is. They just are not doing anything that I need them to do for me to have any confidence in them. And that can change in a day. Right? If we have a big 2% drop day and all major sectors are dropping together, that changes everything. But until that happens, bulls are comfy. To reference volume, you could definitely, use whatever source. That was just, I summarize daily volume very loosely. I just do very loose math. There's nothing wrong with that. And yes, it is just one exchange. If you want all exchanges, it's obviously a very different number. But I'm just imagining, whenever I look at the volume on an individual name, I just look at, is this meeting my criteria of what I need to see in average daily volume for me to be interested in trading something? And so $10 million is very different from $100 million. It just helps me get a very rough idea of what the daily volume is. I don't know if BTC was a potential head and shoulders. I'm taking a break on ticker requests at the moment. No, the head and shoulders confirmed on Bitcoin. Again, a head and shoulders is when you go from an uptrend and then you change to a downtrend. So here is your Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, lower high, lower low. There's your head and shoulders confirming. You went from an uptrend to a downtrend. The bear break was 22.6. We got solid follow through over 5% from that support breaking. Well, Bitcoin's squeezing some shorts now. Very impressive. 23.5 being tested. Again, we're certainly not chasing up here or looking for any entries here. The next entry, if you want an entry and you want to be aggressive, you're looking for next 5-minute oversold conditions to look for an hourly high or low. Crypto name still extremely strong. There's FOMO in the stock market without a doubt. Thanks, I plays. Curious about BKKT. I haven't looked at it in a long time. This is another crypto stock. It's definitely not participating like other names. Volume is abysmal. So yesterday's total volume was $5 million traded. And right now I'm looking at Riot trading $75 million. So bulls are hoping it acts as a laggard, but clearly there is way less interest on BKKT than other crypto stocks. ADA, have we confirmed a 12-hour uptrend? We have not. So again, the next consolidation entry that bulls are looking for is a 12-hour high or low, but it is a weekly bull flag trying to shape up here, and we are very quickly heading back towards these recent highs. All right, just a couple more here before I wrap it up. CHZ. 14 cents is resistance. If we reject from that level or if we break it with no follow through, we're breaking it right now. If we break it with no follow through, we watch for the inverse head and shoulders on the 12-hour. But tons of space for the 12-hour high or low. We do need to confirm an uptrend if this move is going to have follow through. We're way off of that recent high. Obviously, there's a lot of names that are much closer to their recent high. So we have to keep that in mind. But bulls are benefiting from the broader market strength, or I should say from the sector strength today. SI is already a short squeeze as far as I'm concerned. As far as it, is it going to get significant? That remains to be seen. XRP, anything under 4092 is a daily lower high. XRP has been weaker than Bitcoin for a very long time. As long as this chart is in a downtrend, this chart is telling you, look somewhere else as a bull aside from XRP. You're not going to find many altcoins that are at multiple month lows right now with their relationship to Bitcoin. It's worth watching for this to change. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head who just saw a falling wedge do something similar. I mean, the metaverse coins did this. The metaverse coins were all bear. Mana BTC, all bear. And then the bull volume poured in. And then you could get the move after that. You don't have to nail the bottom. There was plenty of opportunity after the initial signal. Something's changing. Volume and the most bullish action we've seen in months. So treat XRP BTC the same way. It is the weakest of the weak. And eventually that will change, but it will change with XRP BTC seeing a big green spike, a lot of volume, and you'll be able to look at it and say, that's the most bullish XRP BTC move that we've seen in months. And until that happens, it's a lead bear. All right, last one, FTM. Big old daily bounce. Don't have a 12-hour uptrend yet. So again, we're scouting a 12-hour high or low next consolidation. but the bulls are attempting a weekly bull flag. There are no red flags. Watch the retracement size on the 12-hour. Bulls want to hold the back test of EMA support on the 12-hour to try and see continuation. So long story short, the bulls are comfy. The burden is on bears to prove to us that bulls should not be comfy. We have to see it in the stock market. We have to see it in crypto and in individual names. We're going to be looking for 4-hour higher lows next consolidation, 12-hour higher lows next consolidation. We're going to be watching 5-minute oversold back burner bounces for potential bullish entries. And just keep reminding yourself, you may want to short and maybe there's a top fish play. Maybe you go for it. But just keep reminding yourself the burden's on bears. Because all the bear talk I see is all fundamental macro stuff. And maybe it ends up being right eventually, but we know that the technicals in the short term matter more than the fundamentals on the macro, which CPI reaction yesterday shows us. So I appreciate you watching. Check out that correlations video and do good things. We will see you next time.